stars of tomorrow. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV's coverage of England women's football.
So a prestigious friendly between England and Brazil, and let's take a look at the two starting lineups. An England squad without the injured Hampton, Williamson, Hemp and Lauren James, to name at least the Euros final starters. So an England debuting goal for 21-year-old Manchester City keeper Chiara Keating. Mère Laetitia at right back in place of Lucy Bronze. An all-Arsenal front line of Mead, Brousseau and Chloe Kelly. The captain, Keira Walsh. A Brazil team that is evolving under Arthur Elias, but they do select 7 of the side that started their Copa America final triumph in the summer, while only Centurion Bia Zanerato started the Finalissima in 2023 at Wembley. Injury keeps out Manchester City's Carolyn, with none of the Brazil squad playing their football in England.
This is the champions of South America in Brazil.
Very big game for Chiara Keating, who's been part of England squads but not got a look in goal today with Hannah Hampton injured. What an opportunity for the young goalkeeper who's been in and out of the Manchester City side this season, but a very promising, talented goal. And for Brazil, Angelina, their captain today, who's a firm fixture in their midfield despite things changing around her. Born in the US, but Brazilian through and through. Hoping to lead her country to World Cup triumph. So away we go, the champions of Europe, the champions of South America. A beautiful homecoming for the Lionesses as they play at the Etihad for the first time in 20 years. Some great opposition to face, fresh off becoming 2-time European champions. Even with that triumph, England, of course, as any champions do, looking forward, looking ahead, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, football always keeps moving forward. Nobody will ever forget the Euros achievements at this team. But that's in the past now, and they move forward. New era, new cycle into the World Cup, and we can't wait.
We're used to England being a settled side. That's not the case for Brazil. A large pool of players to choose from. And they've been rotating that. It used to be a side that you could name their 11, but not anymore. Legends retiring, and new faces in the lineup. It's one of the younger players in the side, Virginia. There are several players who play in the US. A squad with players playing for Brazilian clubs, but in Europe as well. Real spread for a side who have been back to do well at a home World Cup. Maritza playing that ball forward. Virginia, who handled that. Keira Walsh, the captain for this one. And the referee, Lee Simon from the United States.
Both teams said will feel this game is important. It means playing against different styles leading up to the World Cup. And Brazil will play like nothing that England played in the Euros as well. That sort of style is sort of direct, athletic. Yes, they've changed the team and they're looking obviously for their whole World Cup in 2027.
Here's Zanerato dropping off the front and looking to switch it through. Luigi Miller, who's in here. Chance for Brazil early on. Couldn't make a clean contact, really. Enough pressure got back. So Keating not tested early.
Yeah, I'm sure she thought she was. Chiara Keating then going to be tested. Luigi Miller, there's a little bit of a high line. Couldn't really get the pressure on the ball. And I think that Carter was perhaps playing her onside, but that second touch, she just got all wrong.
Tactical flexibility in a lot of the games they played. In fact, they showed that the last time they faced England, changing their system in the second half, which really caused England issues in that second half.
Yeah, we were trying to decide whether they were going to still play their back three, and they are, by the look of it, against England, whether they were going to try and match England up, but they'll be looking in those wide areas, that's for sure, to try and hurt England behind the fullbacks.
We're so used to seeing Brazil sides with the likes of Marta and Dabinha in the lineup, but they're looking forward, Brazil.
She will still be there, Marta. I'm telling you, Seb. She will still keep on playing.
2031?
Yeah. Well, definitely 2027.
Absolutely.
She wouldn't miss it for the world.
She said for now she's stepping away, but you can bet she will be back for the big show in Brazil. How would you miss it? She still has the ability. Playing that ball back. It's causing England a problem. Instead, Russo with a reverse pass to Toon. And Lorena was out of her goal. Undoubted Brazil #1 at the moment. Uda Sampaio. Angelina and Sampaio, the main midfield two for Brazil, and something for them to build around as they rotate in the forward line in particular.
Oh, Brazil are certainly on an upward trajectory. For America winners, they always give, not play them often, but they always give England a good game. Emma Hayes had said that the best side that they've played recently, Brazil, so look ominous. One of the favourites probably for a home World Cup. But a lot of pressure, lots of pressure.
Side that have reached a World Cup final in 2007 when Marta announced herself again on the world stage. Here's Mead. Kelly. National front line. Kelly and Russo starting against Lyon in the Champions League. Letitia. Carter covering, but Maya Letitia, so much debate around her, particularly before this international camp. I think with the expectation that Lucy Bronze would have a rest in at least one of the games, and that is the case.
Terrific opportunity. There's just the sort of new defence, new centre-backs going forward. Obviously, Leah Williamson will come back in, but I think places are up for grabs, and Lucy Bronze will still keep playing. Another one who will still keep playing, but Letitia has played so well for Manchester United in centre-back, but you just got to fit into the team in the way that Serena wants to play, and I think she sees her as a deputy at the moment for Bronze.
Sure, we'll return to that subject somewhat in this game, but here's Kelly. Kelly, too close to the goalkeeper, Lorena. Virginia. On the other side. And Virginia to the younger players in that forward line. Jamila seems to be leading from the front at the moment. Cross comes in and Keating plays.
Yeah, that's good. Good for Keating. She just needed something, didn't she? A claim or a save. Just to sort of settle the nerves. This is her stadium, a Manchester girl. What a proud moment for her and her family.
Absolutely, there was doubt about who would make their debut in goal. It was the fear during the Euros that if something happened to Hampton, then there'd be a debutant during the tournament. Didn't happen, though,
yeah,
did it?
I mean, Serena never lets on what she's thinking, but she had to show her #2 today, which I thought was quite interesting.
And then, some answer on Mead.
Serena Vingan talked about the sort of physicality that her team would expect from this Brazil squad and the duels that they would have to endure and try and win.
England faced every kind of challenge you can imagine in the Euros and overcame all of them. Incredible fashion. Greenwood will take the set piece for England, plays it forward. Lorena's come and then backpedaling. Instead, Brazil can break. Ludmilla has it. Luani up with her. Ludmilla brushed off an England player in Mead.
It's great covering. Great covering from Mesri Morgan. That is where Brazil can hurt England. England either up the pitch attacking or up the pitch on a set piece, and then it's about the pace of those forwards. It's good covering from Morgan.
Morgan making a Euros debut during the competition. Played well against Sweden. She came on. In that semi-final against Italy. Ariza. And Yasmin moving it on. It's been a hard game for England to prepare for, really, because of the way Brazil have been changing their team over the last few years. Ariza will hang that into the penalty area. Awkward for Keating to come for something like that, but England deal with it.
Some good bodies in the box, don't they? Brazil, if they can, the ball coming from wide areas. The width is quite important to them. It's all about pace, all about moving the ball quickly once they get in the opposition half.
Keating, going for Manchester City, used to playing out from the back. This is pretty good. But here's Brazilian Bia Zanerato with a chance to shoot and a chance to score. It's exactly what she does. The most experienced player in the Brazil side strikes early in Manchester.
They've been threatening Seb, haven't they? Brazil not quite managed to get a shot away, but I tell you what, that is a terrific finish from Bia Zanerato. You can see the reaction on the sidelines. They're all out in the technical area. That is a big goal for Brazil. You just show the threat that England are. You know, they're there to be beaten. They're at the top of the game, but this is about getting the ball out of her feet and then getting that ball in the terrific shot in the bottom corner. Passed, nowhere near it really. Chiara Keating, well placed. Here, Zanerato.
Marto Elias, he enjoyed that finish of his experienced striker. 44th goal for Brazil on her 125th cap.
I like the celebration as well. Not the start that Keating would have wanted, but the threat is always there from Brazil. You give them half a chance, they certainly can finish.
England being exposed here as Jorginho picks it up. Brazil looking dangerous. Ludmilla tried to turn away. What I would say, though, is we're used to seeing England start slowly, and they usually come back.
Yeah, I mean, starting slowly, conceding first. You know, it's not sustainable, but somehow this team have always got the belief. They find a way to get back in games. So this will be tough. We always knew this was going to be tough this afternoon.
Lost by Russo. Ioane. And all of a sudden, England 4 against 4 for Brazil here. Virginia. Comfortable visitors. Angelina clipping it forward. Ioane didn't really catch hold of that, but still working out for Brazil at the moment. Yasmin sends in a teasing cross. Lovely ball in. Really difficult to deal with. Will it be a corner? It's a goal kick. Fortunately for England, who are under pressure.
Yeah, I think just lost the ball there, Keating, but just putting this back line of England under pressure. They're really struggling to cope with the movement and the pace and the way that Brazil move the ball. Just need to have a steady shout. Yes, they're building connections between that new back four, but he knows hit England early and hit them with a little bit of intensity, and it's a problem.
Russo. Kelly. Now Stanway. Well, before the Euros, even in competitive games, as Keating does play out, England did have some iffy results at times, did have some iffy displays, but when it came to competitive action at a major tournament, they switched things on. These sort of tests, what Serena Wiegand's looking for, but not England being on the back foot like this at the moment. Virginia, excellent feet, struggling to clear as well, and that's behind for a goal kick in the end.
It's a little bit too easy for Brazil at the moment. They feel that every time they get forward, they can either get a shot on goal or indeed score. Just needs a little bit of calm. Can they connect passes, England? Because that is the way to get the sting out of Brazil and the way that they play.
Here's Zanerato, serious operator really, not just at international level, but a club side. It's a City current, top of the NWSL standings as it goes, with one game left to play before heading to the playoffs. well in front. Dominant side, the US at the moment. Eugenia will be on the shoulder here of Carter. Here is Carter. Let's find it through to Russo. It's a good run actually from Letitia. I don't think she committed to it.
Yeah, the right idea. And there's certainly, Brazil have started a lot brighter than England. They knew that probably just hitting England with a bit of tempo will move the ball quicker. Too easy to carve open at the moment, but England know that they have the players that can hurt a team like Brazil.
They're missing lots of key players as well. But Walsh, who started the season very well for Chelsea. Keating moves forward towards Russo, who generally holds up the ball very well. Mead. Slide it through to Stanway, and this is promising now for England. Stanway, Letitia, Russo waiting in the middle, and the cover did come in the end.
They just looked like they needed a little bit of width there, England, but managed to get themselves through that central area with Stanway. That's where all the bodies are, so it's very difficult to find space, but Stanway did well. Just good defending in the end, a little bit last ditch, but that's better from England, more positive, got this crowd going a little bit.
Angelina in the right place to clear. And finding space on that right-hand side. It will be a question for Yasmin. How defensive she decides to be. But England corner. You know, England generally pretty good from set pieces, especially when Greenwood's taking them. In goes the corner. Goalkeeper didn't get near it really in the end. Mead couldn't bring it down. Kelly. Greenwood. Good. Walsh. Chloe Kelly. And to make something happen, she generally does for England. Stanway. Greenwood to swing one in. Can be a test for the goalkeeper, but not. Lorena has been a safe pair of hands for Brazil.
Certainly established herself in the last few years. Just a tester there for England. It's the first real bit of positive play.
Here's Anarato, clever, not too clever though. The referee didn't buy it in the end, but her just dropping a bit deeper. They have surprised England. Jamila running off her.
Just needs a little bit of communication. Who are you going to follow if you're a centre-back? If not, then you've got to look at one of the centre midfielders.
She's from Kelly. Must be tricky for Letitia though at the same time to have these long gaps where you haven't played at right back.
She's a good player though, Seb, in terms of probably she'd find right back a little bit easier than centre back. You've got all the pitch in front of you and to the left of you.
Throws that in, and that's worked out nicely for England, and then the effort from Toon didn't really catch hold of it.
She was going to let fly then. Toon, because of the way the game has started, she's just making sure, but it just set up really nicely for to strike through that, as we've seen her do on plenty of occasions. Russo, as ever, involves safe pair of hands in terms of knocking it into her, whether it's long from the goalkeeper or in from wide.
She's had a strong start to the season, Ella Toon, Manchester United. But she's lost it here. Abia Zanerato again, with options left and right, and slipping it to Jorginho. Brazil breezing through the England defence. And the South American champions showing what they can do in Manchester.
Yeah, he can't believe it. Well, he can. He knows what his team's all about. It's just far too easy. From an England point of view, cut open all of a sudden. They've got through the centre midfielder and right on top of the centre backs. It's far too easy. And they've just got that power and athleticism. And they look more likely to score than England. I think it looked like a toe poke there in the end, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Outside of the foot, beats Keating. Post nearly saves the goalkeeper. But you have to say, the start that Brazil have made they've been positive, they've been front foot, been attacking. His team takes risks by pushing players forward, but it's certainly paying off.
I think Emma Hayes was onto something.
Yeah. And they all want to impress as well. You know, we talked about him bringing different players into the squad. You know, there's a lot of good players, and they all want to play in that whole World Cup in a couple of years.
Kick-off, England putting it straight out of play. Again, it has to be remembered, England missing a fair few players for this one, but it's part of it as well. England looking at their depth and other ways they can play. Not playing into Brazil's hands at the moment.
I do think when you look at the depth of England, that's the sort of these couple of friendly windows, October and December, I think are really important.
Who plays for Real Madrid. Marisa. Again, they're not afraid to just send it into the penalty area either. They're mixing things up here, Brazil.
Not quite got the connections at the back yet, England. New players playing together. Missing the likes of Williamson.
There's a flare over the head of Mead. Mead covering here. Trying to help England defend. You think back to when England were 3-0 down very early on against Germany. Friendly at Wembley. And recovered from that to have a respectable scoreline in the end. Marisa. But at the moment, Brazil easing their way through the England defence. Comfortable. Marisa clips it into the penalty area. Somehow leaving it for Yasmin. Sampaio again to send it in. Oh, and he got the header on target.
Just second to everything, England. It looks like that they're all at it. It's Brazil, first 11. England are just shell-shocked.
Russo. And Walsh slipping it through. And, oh, this will be interesting. Now then, this could be a red card, you know. For Angelina, it is. The Brazil captain sent off. And what I would say, we do have VAR in operation, but when you looked at that, it's a case of whether it was denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
And this is a really interesting one. Could England be let off the hook here? A little bit of a boost. Did really well to just run across the front. Now, was Tarsiani in a position where that she could cover? I mean, it's a silly, silly challenge to make from Angelina.
That's the only question, Lucy, isn't it? Because it's not a clear attempt to win the ball or anything like that, no. And she's outside the area in any case.
I mean, you're 2-0 up away from home. You don't need to make that, because all of a sudden you're looking at playing with 10 players for the remainder of this game, and that just makes it a little bit more difficult for Brazil, who started absolutely brilliantly opening 20 minutes.
It's time to leave, I think, for Angelina. He's going to have to accept it in this case. And so, the New Jersey-born captain of Brazil is handing the armband to Lorena.
She's shaking her head, but in terms of decision-making, you know, it's not the last minute, it's the opening part of a game where you've just gone 2-0 up, you're dominating the opposition, she knows it, all of a sudden it's like, wrong decision, didn't need to, you know, the two still away from goal. She might have scored a goal, but they would have still had 11 on the pitch.
It's interesting how football changes, because Brazil, I think there have been worries around the England camp, the supporters, that England were going to be on the end of a very heavy beating today, the way that Brazil has started. Still could be the case with 10, of course, but
just gives England that lifeline that they desperately needed in the opening part of this game.
So Angelina goes off, but Artur Elias has to reshuffle things. And we're all over England, but now England have a chance to recover. We know they're pretty good at that. Restarting with this free kick for Greenwood or Mead. It's actually in a position here It's tricky for the goalkeeper to know who's going to have a go from here. So Simon sending off the Brazil captain Angelina. Greenwood! Oh, so close, and then it should have been put in by Carter.
That's a terrific strike from Greenwood. He's got some technical ability. Greenwood, goalkeeper, well beat. It's difficult because it comes at Carter quite quickly. Kicks up off the grass. Really a natural goal scorer. Brilliant from Greenwood. Just a centimetre or so. You could have done with it being Russo on the end of that to react. Oh, Serena.
Just Carter quickly. Even so, England creating opportunity. Mead. And England wide. Toon. We've got a little knock on the way from Yasmin.
That's
not
good.
Happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, everything about that was good in terms of how early everything was done. So as soon as the ball comes to Mead, first time cross, Toon knows that if she has a shot early, it will take the goalkeeper by surprise. But watch Mead, straight away, she's not thinking about taking a touch, she's putting the ball in the right area, and Toon, she doesn't have to hit it with any power, she's just trying to get that accuracy. But Lorena looks like she's injured. She's gone down, and that is a whisker away again.
Yeah, the Brazil goalkeeper holding her hamstring after kicking the ball there, and you can see an immediate pain, then had to get up to feet to deal with England's attack. But that's not a promising sign for Brazil either. And we'll see what if they do have to change. They've got Claudia, Fluminense goalkeeper, who's only had 2 caps, or Carlinha, who's uncapped. The swings and roundabouts of football.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of end-to-end chaos. Everything's happening already. We've only had 25 minutes or so, but we've had a bit of entertainment.
Should be used to this.
I know I am getting deja vu from a lot of England games, Seb. Some of the feelings that I had in the summer when I thought everything was a disaster, and then England just pulled it out of nowhere in celebration from Zanerato. But they were just flying Brazil at this point, and then what you don't want is Angelina to make a decision like that. Ella Toon did what she needed to do, get her body in between Angelina and the ball.
Well, Lorena back on her feet, and it was a huge cheer actually from the Brazil supporters who are behind her goal. And a huge roar when Lorena got back to her feet. Popular figure in goal. Ruiz, the goalkeeper for Kansas City. Same club as Bia Zanerato. Walsh. England now sense they can take advantage. That'll be a corner.
Also doing her best to drag her team back into this game. Willing runner, always involved, even if the team are not playing well. She's always involved in doing things positive.
Greenwood with the corner. Not the best. Brazil able to clear it away. To helping out, and then that's put straight out of play by England. I suppose there's 2 sides of this. Serena Wiegman, there would have been the worry that Brazil were creating chances at will, but then also how helpful it is playing against 10.
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of they have to use these periods now where they're playing in the next 2 years, England, to try new things, to blood younger players in. You know, the squad was starting to age a little bit. Can you bring other players? Because there's a lot in the pipeline at England. She knows that. She has the under-23s mirror what she does with the senior squad, so she can see them. A lot have been brought into the squad, but you know, they need all these experiences. Playing against 10, playing when you're 2-0 down. Doesn't do us any good watching, but it's good experience.
A mixture of young players, uncapped players. You can see there on the right-hand side for England, Sia Kendall. Could make her debut this evening. Izahas, the pressure from Russo. And Russo, determined. She didn't catch the centre-back.
I think Russo can sense that she's got the beating of Izahas. She's putting herself on her, making sure she hassles her. She does lose the ball. And my first reaction there, I'm not sure that was a free kick, but it's ended up as a yellow card, but I am quite far away up here. She's determined to keep hold of the ball. It was cleared. I'm not sure it was a yellow card. It was a foul yet, but I'm not sure it was a yellow card. No.
I think it can be a yellow card when the opposition has had a player sent off, not that.
Yes, yeah. And the player goes down holding their ankle, that helps.
That's almost getting that through to Luani. Stanway. Mead urged on. Don't support too much on the pass. Mead has turned provider for Russo this season. After this goal against Lyon. Virginia has impressed so far.
I think they still have the issue that they've probably had in recent years, where when you're playing against a team who've got a lot more legs in midfield than England do, then at times when they lose possession it can look really stark and really obvious. It's easy for teams to get right on top of England's goal. We've just seen tonight already.
Brazil front line that contains players who play in Europe and in the United States. It's long for Letitia to deal with. Heads it back to the pitch towards Morgan. Yasmin. Gets that ball in. Jamila, foot up high there. England felt they should have had a foul. Siani. Luani wins a corner.
That's a credit to Urias and his Brazil team. He's still encouraging bodies forward because it just puts pressure on England.
Greenwood still not happy. The decision not to give a free kick to England for the high foot. Still making that point. It's a corner kick. Yasmin. To take this corner for Brazil. Still threatening, even with 10. Izahas goes up. Virginia. Oh. I was going to say she dragged that wide, but there's something Brazilian about the way it bent away from goal. It was awkward to deal with.
It's something worth an effort. Virginia's shown already in this game that she's positive. You don't have to encourage her to have a shot on goal. She'll do that. I mean, how on earth she saw a gap there, but she managed to create something. Obviously always going wide, but that's a problem. When a player determined to shoot, then you've got to defend really well against them.
Russo. With Izahas at the moment. Keating. Well, what she could do about either goal. Carter. Is it though straight to Marisa? Able to win it back. No clear signs yet that Brazil are struggling with 10. Make that numerical advantage count. Couldn't slip it through to Toon there, Russo. She apologises for a former Manchester United teammate.
Oh, the Brazil back line are just getting a player each and sticking with them. Make it difficult, but just will allow for runners.
Well, Russo's seen a lot of the ball in this first half. We often talk about strikers not having many touches. That's not the case for Russo.
Yeah. She's just saying, Seb, just get it into my feet, whether I'm running or whether I'm coming towards you, and then they've got to make sure that they have the runners beyond, because that's the way to disrupt this Brazil defence. It was sort of mark it man to man.
two. Tissier. Carter. Just slip that pass through. Just gets away, but there's going to be a spare player, isn't it? It looks like it's Carter at the moment.
Yeah, so they're matching up at the back, Brazil. And then it just means that one of the midfielders has to make sure that they either run beyond or they make themselves spare.
Being an all-Arsenal front three, but of course Arsenal have a lot of top players in their squad, so there's plenty of rotation in that front line. It's coming away by Letitia. Marisa. She's closed down by Mead. He was caught there, so it will be a free kick.
The tackle. He's just made the mistake and then tried to rectify it by clattering Beth Mead on the touchline.
So there's no choice but to get everybody behind the ball. Plenty of discussion of this set piece in the middle. I suppose when you have a centre-back playing at right-back, it will help you in these sort of situations. England have practically four centre-halves across their back line, but one of them is taking this free kick in Greenwood. Swings it in as well. Got enough on it in the end. Virginia.
Yeah, it's a good point that, Seb, about the four centre-halves in the back four. It means that the fullbacks still have to push themselves on, even though it might not be natural to them.
Two. Letitia. Carter. Now Walsh. Hope to get more time in the ball in this sort of situation. Greenwood. Under no pressure really, being that spare player. There's a challenge off the ball there, even with two players down. So this may be something for the VAR to have a little look at.
Serena Wiegman spoke about getting involved in duels and the physicality of this Brazil team, and at the receiving end of a couple of challenges. It's all about the runs into the box. He's watching the ball, but Russo checks to running behind and then gets caught herself. Just a little bit of a push, isn't it? Zanerato, and then takes Russo out. Just unexpected. Wounded a little.
Greenwood. Told to carry on, so on we go for this corner for England. Greenwood goes short to Kelly. She'll play it back to Greenwood. Not quite the cleanest from England so far with their set pieces. Besides Greenwood hitting the bar.
Yeah, just frustrating on top of everything else in this game. He's not really had anything clear-cut in front of goal.
This is the first of 4 games for the Lionesses. Homecoming tour, as it were. They travel to Derby to face Australia, who beat Wales today in Cardiff. Russo, sending it through. Mead. Won't work out in the end.
Yeah, they switched wings, haven't they, Mead and Chloe Kelly. And just the way that they're playing, just allowing, just the 3 natural centre-backs allowing. Yeah, Letitia forward as well. A little bit like a back 3, because obviously being a player up, I've got the space to do that.
to Elias. Slightly frustrated figure, of course. Here's Russo, sliding it through. Mead, still Mead, and couldn't get the shot away. She feels she was caught. Referee not interested.
I thought she was going to let fly before then. Beth Mead, natural goal scorer that she is.
Russo. Almost stood still there for Mead. Shot, winning goal. That's a foul though.
Certainly wasn't happy with Beth Mead in the penalty area on the previous attack, where she claims good play again by Russo. Everything's going through her in that final third. She actually gets herself free. Thought she was going to take it on her left foot. It's not enough in that for me. Where can that be the strike? She had the touch before that. I think he should probably have gone down earlier. Gives the referee a decision to make, but certainly not the second one. She was in full view of that, the referee.
Taking on Brazil's best defender. Greenwood swinging the ball. Will get it away. Morgan to send it back in again. There's Toon. Toon again. And offside in the end, so England not flowing just yet.
Just a little bit sloppy in the different phases. I think we look a little bit fragile at the back. I think that even when they're down to 10, Brazil is still offering a threat, even though England have had the most of it since the red card.
And refreshing the back room. Ian Vering leaving to become the coach of the Netherlands. Virginia almost finding room to shoot again prior to the blocking.
Actually still playing in a certain way, even though they're a man player down, that they're playing it with a back three, but still allowing the same number in that forward line. Again, taking risks, because it's risk and reward. They've got 2 goals out of pushing players forward and attacking with that intensity.
Intensity in that 50-50 there. Virginia. She felt she was fouled. A free kick is given in the end.
Just it's so bitty, and it suits Brazil to be like that. Player down, 2-0 up. They don't need to do anything. If they start this game, then it will suit them more than it will England.
She's impressed so far. Virginia, San Diego Wave winger. She's got the ball again, holding off Carter. Siani, Jamila. She had a bit more time than she realised, and I think that's because she was offside.
Again, it's too easy, and it's all right looking at the back four, but England have to protect in front. They have to stop that ball going through, just putting the back four under pressure all the time, completely. No real pressure on the ball for that pass through.
No pressure on Carter, who can look to switch this ball out towards Mead. Mead looking for Stanway. Actually, pretty good defending from Mia Zanarato in the end, and she gets a goal kick out of it.
I've not really seen enough from Stanway and Walsh in that central midfield area for England. That's what Stanway can do best, and yes, it was a goal kick. Zanarato, what a competitor she is. But can England get Kira Walsh on the ball in terms of her passing prowess? Can she be that extra player? But Brazil are keeping tight hold of her.
The celebration was almost the same as her scoring. Jamila showing a pace to get there, but Morgan likewise stride for stride. Who is in the United States. Started just 1 week after featuring for England in the Euros. For a club side, looking to move on quickly. Marisa. Still Brazil players have found themselves a bit of time on the ball. Virginia trying to wriggle away from Letizia, but that's where Letizier's best. Russo and Marisa actually saw that coming.
Seb, if you'd just started watching this game 5 minutes ago, you probably wouldn't have known that one of the teams had a player less. And I think that is credit to Brazil, but also an indictment on England not making the most of a player more.
Strong header in the build-up from Letizier. Here's Stanway. Now Mead. Marciani on her back. The free kick does come. Look at Mead's reaction.
She's been at the receiving end. She's been at the receiving end. It's not funny, but it's just that frustration of when is it going to go my way? I'm just putting her body in between the ball and the player. I mean, from Tassiana's point of view, she probably did go down quite easily. Gets herself in the way.
I'm going to argue that it is funny, actually. Seeing Bethany react like that, because suddenly a tussle with the top defender like Tassiani. Plenty of set pieces so far for England in this first half. Put on target. Greenwood goes towards the back post. Kelly was close to that. Virginia clears it away. Come off an English shirt last. No England thrown.
I think Brazil haven't done since that Angelina sent off is sit back and defend deep. You know, they're still offering a threat. They know that they're causing problems for England's defence.
There's nothing I can say. Just as impressive this from Brazil. It's the way they started the game. Yasmin. Still finding outlets as well. Signal down the line. With by Morgan. So we have 5 minutes more to play. And to Elias, saying a word about that, I didn't tell, but did see that stoppage. And, Angelina was sent off, and then the goalkeeper went down as well. And it seems to be okay. Forward to Luani. Kelly. Toon tidying up. Carter. Carter. That ball into Russo has been on every time. Carter again. Letizia. Toon. Letizia. Sending into Russo again. Walsh, chance to slide it through. Walsh picks the pass. Not quite. Tassiani across. But she doesn't get the free kick. She felt she was caught.
The intention's there for England. The forward runs, the forward passes, but they've not been quite right, have they? Willing runners in Toon and Stanway, but it's good defending in the end, but it's just too far in front of the likes of Stanway, so she's always stretching. They haven't really had that clear-cut opportunity from those forward runs.
So England have the throw-in. Tissier will get it back. Keep it in play there. So scrappy from England so far in this match.
Yeah, they've not got going. Even after the red card, they haven't got going. They were shocked by Brazil's start and the ferocity of the way that they play, particularly in forward areas, and haven't managed to get a grip of this game yet.
In goes Stanway. Goal before half-time. England feel a lot better here. Russo. And Russo to look for Letizia. Couldn't take it in her stride. She would have been in. Yasmin. Virginia. Here's Carter. Stanway. Stanway again. Jamila getting back. Defended well from the front, Brazil. Luani. It's a Madrid player. She was caught. And Brazil, even with losing a player, they'll be very pleased with this first half.
Yeah, just some decision making, just putting England on the back foot, conceding a free kick at that point, and the First half, not being able to build up any sort of momentum, England in this half.
Some ways to look at this opening period, and wasteful, but at the same time, Brazil had 11 for the whole half. You would worry what the scoreline would look like. That's how well visitors have played. They have a late free kick here with 10 players. Where will this go? The day is over. Marciani attacking it.
It's been 15 minutes or so since Keaton has had to do anything, but when you've got such tall players as Brazil have got in these set pieces, you've got to make sure if you're coming out, you've got to get it. End up in no man's land. He has to be so pleased with the way his team have played this half.
Well, Brazilian supporters of this team have been pleased with the progression of the side. Zahas, though, he's had a difficult time against Russo.
Yeah, and Russo just wants the ball as much as possible, and she's had the better of it without scoring a goal.
So this may be the last chance of the half as Greenwood take the set piece, just fit into the penalty area. Oh, wonderful that was from Walsh.
We know how technically good Kira Walsh is. She doesn't score many goals, but they usually are spectacular, and that's worth the effort. Left footer only just over, hits the top of the net. It makes some fans in here think they've scored.
It's about as good as it's been for England, because in many ways Brazil have outplayed their hosts. Mia Zanerato with the opener, Dugenia with the second, Angelina sent off, so a big second half to come in this one is needed by England. England 0, Brazil 2 at half-time.